folks. This is the third and final part of a breakdown of the memoirs of Frater 616 in relation to Australia's global satanic legacy and its future. Now, this is rather filthy language that is being used here, but what you've got to understand is this is how they think. So this is the final part of the memoirs by Frater 616. And as I've said, this is how you're going to start to get a grip as to how these people think and why we're seeing paedophilia, sexual debauchement everywhere. It's because these people are offering their mind as your society. Okay, this is what they want because they want to make it normal. So a fair warning, there is some pretty dark context in this, and you need to work out now whether you want to carry on or not. So here goes. It says, the young woman was barely conscious, yet her nipples were bullet hard. Her inviting natural sexual aroma interplays with the civet incense and dancing candlelight. The congregation stands in silence as infant children reenact the pornography they have just been taught. Upon the altar the young woman lays with gaping legs and delicate droplets of urine upon her pubic hair. As the children finish their prearranged aping pantomime of degradation, the chanting to the dark gods and the dark goddesses begins. The altar is always a human body, male, female, alert, drugged, alive or dead. In every case the altar is fresh and young. The mechanics of a high satanic black mass are the same as in any theatre designed to reopen psychic gateways, inculcate dedication, glorify, rarefy and idealise spirituality. Only the aims differ. In Satanism, sodomy is preferred because of its magical effects. The sacramental nature of Ezekiel and Kings and Malachi and Isaiah are only fully understood by Satanists. Even abstinence from all forms of satisfying and normal sexual congress is used to enable the destruction and replacement of old beliefs and standards. Merely to sidestep conventionality still leaves the neophyte with a mass of prejudices, idiosyncrasies, identifications and preference that gives comfort and definition to the personality. By pushing wider the parameters of being and expanding ideas, Satanists experience the inherent transience and contingent nature of all things. The black mass, whether high satanic or low orgy, achieves this. Any form of bizarre sexual congress is explored and encouraged because atrophied tastes need stronger stimulation. Children, the elderly, the mentally retarded and desperate are used at satanic ceremonies throughout the world. The left-hand path caters for all tastes and responds to all needs. In Australia and throughout what used to be the Soviet Union, Down syndrome pornography is an expanding market and acquired taste. Approximately one new DVD, like the Gangbang of Murray Mongoloid series from 1998 to 2001, or Downer Syndrome Follies 1 and 2, 2001 and 2003, hits the underground market every couple of months. Before that were the still popular Paedophiles Paradise and Toil Art videos. Cutting as it does through all of society, boutique pornography offers many opportunities to the alpha satanic lodges. With the reform and application of the mercantile system to the Western world, the opportunities for well-organised crime and well-placed puppets burgeoned. Brothels are built with bricks of religion, prisons with bricks of law. By misunderstanding the nature of Satan and his spirituality, the true adherents are safe to openly declare their allegiance to the world, which they do. Why did so many of the important people appear to have well-planned excuses, if not escape routes? Wheels within wheels to every temple of God. Since Norman Lindsay's time, the Alpha Lodges have maintained well-organised political affiliations. Senior public servants, career bureaucrats and diplomatic service have been used to integrate the coming satanic age. Just ask Sir A.G., name removed in brackets. Most people are more comfortable asserting their independence than being correct, effective, well off, or powerful. They believe because they have no or very few facts and because their beliefs offer them comfort, mostly the comfort of moral superiority. They use logic, reason, history, law, indeed anything at all to help them follow their prejudices and fulfill their desires. Governments everywhere cater for those people who would rather live on their knees than die on their feet. Politicians did not invent the human condition, they only take advantage of it. The Satanic aristocracy sees the masses as tools, means by which the ends envisioned may be achieved. Individual suffering is irrelevant. The ends are all that matter. The means are chosen based on totally utilitarian and logical decisions. Corruption is endemic, but accepted. That Queen Elizabeth II is claiming ignorance of her own government's laws while disdainfully hiding behind her advisers and masquerading her interest behind complex business structures apparently bothers no one. Although the secret selling off of the farm in Australia was thorough, it was not slow. People assist their governments to push them to the side of their own lives. Always have and always will. It's the war against terror. It's the same everywhere. Yet everyone agrees that the streets of the world's major cities are more dangerous now than they were throughout the Second World War. But who cares? History is replete with stories that never get told. How many people know about General Douglas MacArthur's 40 pages memorandum of Saturday, the 20th of January 1945 to President Franklin D. Delano Roosevelt, or the names and rank of the Port Arthur killers, and whatever did happen to the frogmen of the 19th of December. Viable, truly spiritual Satanism is becoming more overt. This is because of those who went before. And as the schedule works itself, the Alpha Satanic Lodges are growing ever more public. I will not mention names, front organisations or interests. The time is when these will announce themselves. Just like Disneyland, we infiltrated, then built the modern media, created porno film empires, turned snuff into an art, and liberated young people. Ours is the obsession of the mystery of darkness. This is our age, the age of Satanus. Internet sites full of the grossest vulgarity and operated out of Israel are mostly founded upon left-hand path philosophies. Take Alexia Cage, for example. The number of diplomats or the children who are into scatology is legion, with all the possibilities that brings. Billy S. name deleted was one of our better acquisitions until he died in Sonia's arms. Known behind his back as Billy Browno, ASIO destroyed the records, as they do for judges, senior bureaucrats or businessmen's clubs and diplomats. So they destroy the records. This is why you can't necessarily find them. But the average Homo normal is beyond caring. Provided their bellies are full, their minds empty and their time consumed with frivolous entertainment, Satanists are free to triumph. It took less than 60 years to turn the Western world from war heroes to pufters, from bold adventurers to crybabies, from devoted couples to divorcees. And although never afraid of work in the past, now everyone has a doctor's certificate. Are you seeing? This is, they're telling you where you are. This is where you are now at. And the reason why this is running riot. Chronic apathy bolstered by cynicism litters the economic cul-de-sacs of our society. Literacy is almost gone. Television is almost irrelevant. Public infrastructure is heritage protected. And most are crushed by the foreboding knowledge that tomorrow is another day. The wand must be debauched, the cup drained, the sword dazzling, the disc penetrated. With fire the tunnel is penetrated, with thirst the cup is dazzled, with air the sword is drained, with soil the disc debaubed. Within the temple, in the temple, find here the mysteries of the mysteries. The back passage is the shortest way, turn water into wine. Okay, sodomy. On the 21st of July 1913, Franz Kafka observed in his diary, "Don't despair, not even over the fact that you don't despair. People exist as robots within a world of no-win politics, fortified by political structures that have either outgrown their usefulness or graphically and tragically proved their inherent inadequacies. By old religious traditions that subverted a message of denying church by preaching the personal and interior nature of the kingdom of heaven and the state and family by advocating a higher allegiance to individual conscience, continue as unabashed as if nothing had happened at all. And in answer, nothing changes." Anton LaVey noted that there is nothing inherently wrong with fascism, given the nature and needs of the average citizen. Now, it's not so much a case of avoiding fascism, but of replacing a screwed up, disjointed, fragmented and stupefying kind of fascism with one that is more sensible and truly progressive. And Anton was many things, but never a fool. He also opined that the best street cleaner was a riot gun, and there are few that would quibble. Turning against themselves, they live alone and vicariously with others. They have allowed themselves to become prisoners in our mythological penitentiaries amid the bright lights and dark corridors of their cheap and nasty psyches. If viewed objectively, Satan does not need to buy souls. The crowds are drip-fed belief systems, pointless choices and hollow opportunities. From radios, television, print media, billboards and the acceptive agenda of the day, they exist in a constant state of boredom. Fashion experts assist psychopaths in both politics and big business. Words are empty as their hearts speak them, hardly affect the masses anymore. They exist in a universe of suspicion. Their jobs are tenuous, their comatose lives are artificial, as their prejudices and their alienated futures mostly short term. It's not that the true nature of what has and is being offered has changed or wasn't obvious all along. Just get another beer, turn down the lights, heat your packaged dinner and watch the flat screen colour and movement of compliant simplicities. Your parents could not think of a number, so they gave you a name. But the state has assigned you a number for your pettiness, and you will work until you drop. Samuel Adams said it best at the Philadelphia State House on the 1st of August 1776. Quote, "If ye love wealth better than liberty, the tranquillity of servitude better than the animating contest of freedom, go home from us in peace. We ask not your counsels or arms. Crouch down and lick the hands which feed you. May your chains set lightly upon you, and may posterity forget that ye were our countrymen." Nobody listened then either, except initiates and the precursor to the Satanic Alpha lodges. We believe in the law of the aeon, which is a sacrifice, and in the letting of blood. It's the only doctrine to which the masses have ever been faithful, that and the aesthetic of disgrace. A disguised postmodern satanic eugenics rests on the superiority of those who know that they are above the herd, which they view with revulsion and is reflected in the indignation of their policies for any form of commitment to anything wider than themselves, to the point of trivialising life itself. One wing of the hospital helps infertile couples, the other unit terminates fetuses. Cloning is not required, as a trip around any metropolis would prove. The condition of admission is an old-school tie, a proper handshake, mobile phone, a credit rating, and some proof from the government that you exist. The herd continues a hallowed tradition of pious fear, both of life and death. They light candles, but they never really kiss. It's not hard to find them refracted through the stained glass grotesque caricatures of spirituality, the soundbite vomit of politics, the mathematical facelessness of plastic statistics, or in the quietest moment of the night. Their politics rest on tribalism. Their social system resembles a clique of high school prefects, not an open system where a vote actually means something. Next time you are standing in a queue, imagine a world where the government operates everything, where committee delegates organise everything, where the information is edited, cutting through the lines of least persistence, and where equality of outcome ensures the finality of its long-term results. It's not that hard. We continue to organize it. What God can create, man can destroy. We exist in an age with more promises than perils, more opportunities than obstacles, with better healthcare, communication and affordability, yet they silently await the mushroom clouds and for the smells of death to capture the planet like never before. They are as compliant as sheep to the slaughter. The Lord is my shepherd. Their fears keep them together, huddling and overwhelmed by our prospect of the inevitable. Satanists believe that the fear inspired by the atomic bomb and other weapons yet to come will be so great that everyone will refrain from using them. Material deleted. It will mean the division of the world among 2 or 3 vast superstates, unable to be overthrown by any internal rebellion. Their structure will be hierarchic, and the Satanic caste at the top and outright slavery at the bottom, and the crushing out of liberty would exceed anything the world has yet seen. Within each state, the necessary psychological atmosphere will be maintained by a complete severance from the outside world, and by a continuous phony war against rival states. Civilizations of this type will remain stable for thousands of years. Have no fear. Not contentment, but more power. Not peace at all, but war. Not virtue, but proficiency. The weak and ill-constituted shall perish, first principle of our philanthropy, and one shall help them to do so. What is more harmful than any vice? Activity, sympathy for the ill-constituted and weak. Christianity. So they see Christianity as weak. They see everybody as weak. Yeah, this is the... So, and they do believe that the only way you can actually get this power is to be not weak in their eyes, which is basically to abuse everything that you see as beneath you. So it does go against the idea that the strong protect the weak. It's a total inversion of the creation philosophy. It says, I am the power, I am the glory, I am another God. The Order of the Toilet. The Order of the Toilet is a traditional left-hand path initiatory body whose members adhere to the largely neglected latrine doctrines of the Varma Marja. Order members are encouraged to engage in bathroom practice as often as possible and no less than daily. The teachings and ordeals of the outer or OTT are divided into categories of the champagne and the caviar initiations. The Order of the Toilet seeks to inculcate with its membership and the wider world a cultivated love for and re-establishment of the hitherto secret magic of the night soil tradition of the Western sinister current. The mysteries of the menses and of the vomit, as well as those of spit and swallow, are all taught within the white-tiled splendour of our order's numerous disinfected temples. So you can see the porn itself is all shifting to this format. So you join in the ritual and you're becoming. The Order of the Toilet asks young women 16 years and over who wish to dedicate themselves to the urinary and fecal curriculum of the OOTT to forward an up-to-date medical certificate as to sexuality, transmitted disease and a full frontal naked and autographed photograph of themselves to the outer head of the OOTT, together with a 500-word essay explaining their understanding of the latrine doctrines. The Outer Order of the Toilet recognises the following grade attainments. 1. Toilet Goddess. She holds the jewels in her cruel hands. Her nails are lacquered in love. Her adorations are screams. 2. Piss Princess. Hers is the golden shower that falls upon the magus, that he may be washed and made enlivened. Her weapon is the cup. 3rd. Princess of the Porcelain. Hers is the glamour of redolent movements in the night and the erotic passing of wind. She is an ordained priestess of the third eye and dark pathway. 4. Dominatrix of the Cubicle. She offers her chalice and opens her back door. She bedaubs and cleanses those who offer up themselves. Her tool is the wand. Mistress, her weapon is the whip, for she is girt with a sword. Her principal enchantments and her smile and inventiveness. And 6, the vampiress. She redeems with her blood, for her weapon is the stiletto. She communicates her spells orally. Your word is her coin. Now, that's very enlightening. Your word is her coin. You should contemplate that short phrase, because when you're dealing with these people, what you speak becomes their coin. The experts turning things around. That ends the third part of the dip into the Alpha Lodges, who claim to be controlling Israel and are happy to present themselves as the core root of the porn, transgender, debauchery, etc. that goes with this left-hand path. And if you go to the last video I made, it's very important because it all works in sync with the Talmudic script, the debasement of everything contrary to that, so that they can exterminate it off the earth. This is what they're doing. So they've set you up to undo your own moral code, which they then judge you on. So it's a false judgment. This isn't a judgment of God. It isn't the judgment of the Creator. This is moving societies into a position where this cult can then make judgment. That is what needs to be understood by everybody, that this is real. They've been doing this forever, and they have now shoved it directly into your society, especially through the debasement of your offspring, and to the point that you now are claiming to be adults or grown-ups, yet are behaving in many cases in a lesser capacity than your own offspring. That is a sad indictment, because that has bred nothing but cowardice, which is why this system, if not checked, is going to take over the entire globe. And as you know, claimed by the Kabbalists, they then have the excuse, spiritual, to wipe you off the face of the earth. So, there we go. A terrible subject matter for a Sunday morning. So I'm glad that that's over, and we'll leave that alone now. So there will be no more parts to this delve into the world of Alpha. So with that, I will say have a good Sunday, and till the next time.